Hey guys, so today I am giving you a garden tour for the middle of June, and the star of the show is this rose campion. It is absolutely looking beautiful, full of blooms, electric. Just love this flower. There are only about 3 or 4 plants in here, and that's how massive this gets, and I absolutely love it. And then I've got this bee balm, which is starting to bud up, as well as some agastache. This is a white variety, and this is also starting to bud up and likely going to bloom. Very tall. These are probably about 3.5, 4 feet tall almost. And then back there, this is probably about 4 to 4.5 feet, which is the Eryngium back here, and I have several of those. I've got this allium, which is the Millennium allium, and this is starting to bud up. And we'll go this way to the big Eryngium on this garden bed, and this one is definitely putting on some color in those I guess buds, and this is a very pinchy plant. So if you have this for the first time or you planted a bare root, just know that they are pretty pinchy, and that's pretty much the leaves that are pinchy. The flower, I guess a little bit too, but not too much. But they will probably really start to color up just like this one and get this beautiful silvery gray blue color. Over here I have the Rudbeckia Cherry Brandy, and this is the best it's looked. It has some great budding, and you can start seeing some of the color in there. This is the biggest it's ever been, thanks to caging it up in the chicken wire. Some St. John's wort over here, which is also budding up, and I hope to see a few blooms. I'm not seeing everything budding up, but just a few. Here I've got some Gaura, and this is putting on some beautiful growth. I am not seeing anything that looks like it's budding quite yet, but hopefully I think maybe soon. I'm really not sure if that might be a flower starting, but I think we will start seeing a lot of things for summer blooms starting to come out. Some more rose campion, and then I have a coneflower back here that I also caged up, which has some gorgeous buds on it. This is a green twister, so this is the first time I'll see it bloom because this is winter sown, and so last year all I had was the foliage. And here is one singular drumstick allium. A lot of them got eaten up, so this is the only survivor. My foxgloves have finished blooming, but I think I will cut them back, and hopefully I'll get maybe a second set of blooms, not sure, but I'm hoping that that's the case. The catmint still looking absolutely beautiful, but it is close to the end of its bloom cycle. I have a hidden coneflower back here, and I will need to do something to set it free from this because it is reaching the top of that cage. Back here I have a delphinium, and it is flowering and looking very beautiful. I love this blue color, just absolutely gorgeous. This is I think a Magic Fountain mix that I did from Burpee. So again, winter sown, and this is the first year I get to see it bloom, and this one is more of a very, very light purple color. And these are supposed to be perennials, so I'm hoping that You know, every year they would put on more growth and look even more spectacular. This is some bee balm next to the delphinium, and this one actually has a very nice bud and definitely going to bloom very soon. Here I have a beautiful patch of lavender. These were also winter sown a couple years ago. This is the second year of flowering, and they are starting to put out blooms. Lots and lots of buds that are just starting to bloom out and looking beautiful. I love the smell of lavender. It's just so gorgeous. Beautiful. Back here I have a coneflower. This is just the normal purple coneflower, and it's got lots of buds on it as well. I don't know. We'll see if I get to see it flower, because the deer could end up eating this. But let's cross our fingers. The last thing here is I do have 2 other coneflowers which are reaching the top of this, and I really need to get these out of here and just put some chicken wire around the whole thing. I do have some snapdragons which were completely eaten up. All the buds just chomped off, as well as all my yarrow. If you saw my last garden tour, it had beautiful buds looking super tall and beautiful, and that's it. They're all gone. Just as I was starting this garden tour and hitting the record button, I did capture a rabbit that was in my garden bed, just hiding out, and probably the culprit of eating anything that's available, budding up, that is not caged up. It probably will eat it, except for this Veronica, looking gorgeous, beautiful purple Veronica, as well as any of the bee balm and things like that. They don't really like the mint family, and yeah, so caught it red-handed. That's why I have to keep chicken wire around a lot of my plants. Even deer spray doesn't really keep them away. Over here I planted a bunch of dahlias, and I have 2 cafe au laits. I found those at Walmart. Super excited to have found those. This is the Penhill watermelon that I overwintered, as well as the bluebird that overwintered, and then the Arabian Night that I bought from Walmart. Those are the biggest ones right now. So I'm not seeing anything grow yet from this cafe au lait, but there is a little bit of a start on this one. So hoping that they will show up. I bought these maybe a week or 2 ago, so there's still time to have some growth. Over here I have some bachelor's buttons, and I do have to do quite a bit of deadheading in here, but they've been flowering so profusely. And over here I have Dara. Unfortunately, when they put down the mulch burnt out a lot of my plant leaves. As you can see, they're pretty bad. Some Googling I did said that it was likely because it was what they call sour mulch, and it was overheated and, you know, almost like compost, and so everything is burnt near the bottom of the plants. I hope that this Dara will be able to recuperate. Over here in my winter sowing garden, the feverfew are budding up, lots and lots of buds, so hope to see some blooms very soon. And back here is a surprise snapdragon that overwintered. This is the status, and I have both a pink and a purple, and those are looking great. They're a little short, but looking very, very pretty. The leaves, as you can see, all burnt out over here too at the bottom, but I think they should be okay. Then I have these straw flowers, which they are about to bloom. I think this might be the red one. This is definitely the orange variety. And possibly the red one. This might be the pink one. So yeah, that's looking very nice. The larkspur is budding up and looking lovely. I only lost one in the incident. The other ones were tall enough that even though the bottoms got burnt out, they still have plenty of foliage on them and will survive. Snapdragons, as you can see, there's a pink one that is flowering, as well as a buttery yellow. And these are Scabiosa, which I see some buds forming on this as well. This bed is looking beautiful. A lot of things are budding. Only the rose campion is flowering. I have a couple of astilbes. This one I caged up because it got chewed up a little too much, but it's got a beautiful bud and going to flower soon. I have a very similar one back here, which also has a bud or two on it actually. It's getting chewed up but still holding up. And this one has gorgeous buds all over it. So as usual, praying that those rabbits or the deer don't come and decide to eat the buds. They seem to like buds on plants. In this astilbe, I'm not seeing any buds, and it might be, I don't know if it's because I transplanted it and it's now behind. I see one hidden right there, but yeah, there's one there. So maybe it's a little late. I don't know. We'll see how it does. The columbine is almost done flowering. This particular Nora Barlow, pretty much finished. I don't see any new blooms, but I'm going to let that go to seed and collect the seeds from there. And then this one also has a flower, which I will try to collect the seed. I cut off all the other ones. My lace cap hydrangeas have, this particular one has a lot of blooms on it, and it's looking very, very nice. Well, sorry, not blooms, buds. And so yeah, the budding up is looking good. I do have to treat it. Looks like it's got a bit of a fungal issue here. But otherwise, the transplant, I think, did well. The red twig dogwood is looking beautiful. Just gorgeous amount of growth on it. I absolutely love that variegated foliage, and I cannot wait till this gets so much bigger and really takes up a lot of space in this garden. That's my goal, to give it a really nice pop amongst these dark trees and this beautiful bright white. The other hydrangea, the lace cap, this is a little bit behind. It is budding up beautifully, but these stems over here had struggled, and these might be the ones that end up budding up later in the summer, because it does tend to bud from old and new wood. But I think towards the middle of summer, I should see quite a bit of blooms on it and continuous throughout the summer. In this area, I have a bunch of snow-capped daisies, which are doing even better than the other side. I think they just like some of the shade and maybe 2 hours of really hot sun, and that's it. Same thing with the foxgloves. They grew so tall and just looking glorious. They're pretty much done blooming, and I will have to cut them back. But yeah, I think I might add a few more foxgloves back here. Just spectacular. Then over here I have another sea of rose campion. It's just one of the plants that the rabbit leave alone for the most part, and the rabbits tend to come up this section here, and yeah, so that's looking beautiful. Behind it, or in between it, is some agastache, some purple agastache, which is not budded up quite yet. And the last thing here is the salvias, which are blooming, looking very pretty. And I have 2 more lace cap hydrangeas. This one, beautiful buds, it's actually starting to bloom a little bit. And this one, the rabbits ate up all the buds on it, unfortunately. I think it will still put out some new buds, but it'll be behind. So thanks for joining me on this garden tour. And if you enjoyed this, hit the like button, and I'll see you next time. Bye.